Hello, welcome to my show. Who the hell am I? Well, if you don't know, you may have seen me in Spelling Bee or The Lion and the Wiz, or on the Electric Company watching TV with your kids. But if you saw Memphis, how could you forget this? The smile, the style, the fat, the blow. Welcome to the Monroe Iglehart Show. How am I doing? Pretty good? Hey everyone, it's Monroe Iglehart here on the Monroe Iglehart Show. And again, as you can see, I haven't quite got a table yet or a microphone, but I am in a better surrounding. I'm actually on a nice couch below the lobby in the Schubert Theater. But today, we're not going to talk about my set. We're not going to talk about, my money. We're going to talk about someone who is very, very dear to this show and very, very special to me. Ladies and gentlemen of Memphis and the James Iglehart fans, I'd like you to meet Dionne Figgins.
Hello, everyone. James Iglehart world.
Thank you very much. Yes. So, you guys may not know, but if you saw the show when it opened October 19th, or if you were crazy enough to see the show in La Jolla or in Seattle, Dionne Figgins is one of our original members. And for a little bit of time, I told you I was going to interview all the new people. For like a short period of time, Dionne went off to do a different project. We're going to talk about that later. But Dionne is back. And since she's back, I figured she's new, yet old, but new. And new enough for me to do an interview with this lovely lady. And I mentioned her before when I interviewed Preston Duggar. The reason why Preston is here, and I said in that interview, if Dionne thinks you're good enough to be in the show, then you're good enough. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dionne. Dionne, what's it like to be back in Memphis, honey?
I'm really excited to be back because it's all these new faces, and so there's all this new energy on stage. I mean, we've been doing it for a year, 2 years for us, and the energy can sometimes get really comfortable when you're with the cast for so long, but we have all these new faces on stage, and everyone's coming with so many new characters, so there's all these new people at Del Rey's and on the playground, so it's like fun to meet all these new folks, and it kind of switches up my character to have to interact with all these new people, so it's been great.
So let's start at the beginning. Dionne Figgins, where are you from?
I'm from Washington, D.C.
From Chocolate City.
But I was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
Really?
Yes.
I had no clue.
I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, so it was destined for me to be here in Memphis.
That's tight.
Yeah.
So when did you go from Memphis to D.C.?
When I was 4. Yeah, my family moved to D.C.
Do you still have family in Memphis?
I do. I do have family. My father actually lives in Tennessee now.
Cool. So you were raised in D.C. and as I said, she's one of the most amazing dancers, one of the most amazing actresses you'll ever see. So when did you start dancing in D.C.? What age?
I started dancing actually in Tennessee, at the University of Tennessee when I was 4. And I just picked up lessons when I was in D.C. at Jones Table School of Ballet, and I trained there until high school.
See, that's a nice way of saying it. When I first met Dionne, I said, Dionne, how'd you start dancing? And you told me a story about your mom saying you was, what? What was
I was clumsy is what I was. I was clumsy. I used to run into the walls in my house.
Yes.
And then my mother was like, you know what, my daughter's clumsy. I have a great idea. Let's put her in figure skating. Figure skating is not the activity to put your clumsy children in, because the first time out, I fell on my forehead. I still have the little, I'm squishing my forehead up now. There's a little indentation in my forehead to date from that day. So, yeah.
I understand. I took up figure skating when I was 4, and they put the little chair in front of you and let you skate.
Right.
And they pulled the chair out. And the minute I busted my head, we were done with skating.
That was enough.
Done with skating. That's why, who do we have here? Deborah Williams was the only black figure skater we had. What was her name?
Debbie. It's cold out there.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. We don't like cold.
Not too much. Not me.
So you went from figure skating to dancing in Tennessee, and you started in ballet.
Yes.
And was it something that you just took to like a duck to water, or what was the deal?
I was just always, the other thing my mom used to say, she would hate it if I told her something. I used to always be clowning around. I was always a ham. I always was performing and singing, and so I took to it because it was an opportunity for me to express myself more so than anything else. I think if my mother had put me in any performing arts, I would have taken to it. But I love dancing. So I did take to it, and it was, it was the thing I did when I was growing up, and I loved it.
So I'm assuming that, seeing the fact you're from D.C., not only were you doing traditional ballet, regular, wonderful, nice, classical, parent-loving dancing, I'm pretty sure there was some go-go in there, there was some hip-hop in there.
Oh my goodness. I wasn't allowed to go to the go-go's because, during that time it was fairly dangerous in D.C., so I wasn't actually allowed to go to where they were, but I could go to like the school-run one. So yeah, I was, what? You kidding me? Come on, James, you know me.
I know. So, the thing about it is, you guys don't understand. When what you guys get to see on stage are these amazing professional dancers. We used to throw these really, not we, this young lady was sweet enough to throw some amazing cast parties when we were in La Jolla. And we'd have Kenny, our musical director, was the DJ, and we would be out there dancing. This girl can do moves in 4-inch heels that are not built to do with 4-inch heels. Just talented is the word I'm looking for. So you go from dancing, I'm assuming you danced in high school.
I danced in high school.
What happened from there?
Well, for high school, I actually took a year or two off because I was dancing really intensely. I went to France when I was 12.
Really?
Yeah, I was in France for a summer.
What was that about?
Rosella Hightower School of Ballet. I was there training for a summer, and then I went to Dance Theater of Harlem for a summer. So I was really training. And so when I got into 11th grade...
Hold on for a second. For you parents out there who say you don't know what to do with your kids, they don't like to do nothing. This girl's mother was cool enough to let her go to France and to New York.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get off your behinds and do something with your bad kids. They can be on Broadway someday. Okay, go ahead.
So I took 11th grade off from dancing because it was just a lot. But then 12th grade, I auditioned for a play that Debbie Allen was doing. She does a lot of children's theater at the Kennedy Center. And I actually got into the play, and I was her understudy in the show.
Are you
serious?
So
that was my very first musical theater venture, and I was her understudy.
You were the understudy for Debbie Allen?
Yeah, I was Debbie Allen.
Is that how you met?
Brothers of the Night. That's how I met Vivian.
Okay. Now, for you guys who don't know, Vivian Nixon was in our show. She's no longer in our show. We love you, Vivian. That is Debbie Allen's daughter. And to see those two on stage together was just damn ridiculous. But, so
I was her understudy in the show, and that was kind of what broke me into doing theater. And so when I went to college,
where'd you go?
I went to Goucher College in Baltimore. So when I was in school, I was a theater major, and I did dance.
So you weren't a dance major?
I double majored in theater and dance, but I didn't stay there very long because I auditioned for Dance Theater of Harlem, and then I got into the company. So I left to go, dance for DTH, and I was there until 2005.
Lord, help me.
Yeah.
And this is not your first Broadway show.
This is not my first Broadway show.
Your first Broadway show was?
Hot Feet.
Hot Feet, okay.
Yes. And I was the understudy. I was Vivian's understudy in Hot Feet. So, and I went on all the time because it was a lot. The show was hard. So, that was my first show.
How old were you when you did Broadway, if you don't mind asking?
I was 26 in my first show. So I was in Dance Theater of Harlem from 2000 to 2005. And it took me about a year outside of, because I hadn't been in the musical theater scene since Kennedy Center, which was 1998. And so I had to start kind of from scratch almost, because I'd been solely focused on ballet. So I started taking voice lessons and acting classes, and eventually I got into a show. And then from there, it was just one show after the next. So, yeah.
Because you worked with Sergio, our choreographer, before, because you guys worked on The Wiz and The Hoya.
That was right after Hot Feet, and that's how I met Sergio. Yeah,
So the fun part about when we first met Dionne is one of the things I love about our cast. Everyone in our cast has a different personality. There's certain shows you go to where the dancers walk out, and you can definitely tell they're dancers. They all kind of look the same, dress the same. We walk into La Jolla, nobody really knows anybody, and there's this girl in these hot yellow tights, these 4-inch heels, and these big old earphones. And the girl is just dancing in the corner by herself, and we are all like, who is she? But then we all got intimidated, because we were like, anybody that bad has got to be awesome. And sure enough, Dionne was. I mean, it wasn't like we could say, at least she's terrible. No, the girl was bad on the floor, behind the desk. And here's my favorite part about Dionne Figgins.
Here we go.
Our director told, usually when you're in a cast, the director says, "What I'd like you for the ensemble." There's the principals in the ensemble, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this show is to give some props to the ensemble who make our show what it is. Our principals are great, don't get me wrong, but without our ensemble, our show would be nothing. And so our director decided to do this really cool exercise by telling every ensemble member to pick a character. Dionne here picks a different character for every scene. Now, when you come see the show after the interview, especially if you've seen the show before, you come a second time, a third time, I'd like you to watch Dionne Figgins in the first scene, because you are Myrna. And Myrna is a blonde-haired sex pot dancing her butt off. Mean Myrna. If you watch closely, you'll see when Huey's singing Music of My Soul, she tries to attack Huey, and we have to stop her from whooping his behind for walking into the club. And then, what's the other one?
Sootie Ruth.
Sootie Ruth is everybody's favorite, because Sootie Ruth is the child, and you see Sootie Ruth, the first time you see Sootie Ruth is in the church.
I love her. I love Sootie Ruth.
Where did